Hi. So today we are doing a Shonen Jump manga tier list. This isn't everything I've ever read, but it's everything that I've read that I feel like I have enough of an opinion on to rank. So that's what we're doing today. I'm not gonna have a video uploaded on the 9th of September. It was my brother's birthday, so didn't have that much time to record. But it's gonna be up the next day, so y'all should be fine. I mean, if you're not, then uh I don't know. But to start out, we had the first manga I ever read, My Hero Academia. Um My Hero Academia is pretty special to me. It was one of the first anime I ever got into. It was the second one. I got into Naruto first, and then I got into My Hero Academia. So it has a pretty special place in my heart. But it kind of, like I said, my anime collection video, it kind of fell off. I haven't kept up with the anime since season 6, and I've been reading the manga weekly since 2020, or I was reading the manga weekly since 2020 until it ended. And I think that despite how great it once was, probably at the peak of My Hero Academia, I mean, it was my favorite anime at one time, so I would have put it in S, honestly. But I was just a kid. I didn't really know, like, how good stories could actually be back then. So, honestly, if I'm being like looking at it through a more critical lens now, like the peak of My Hero Academia probably would be A tier. Or even like actually season 3, like if you just go from season 1 to season 3, like halfway through season 3, I would say it's an S tier, honestly, because that's what I watched back in the day, and even I've gone back and rewatched it, uh and I thought it was really good. But um I rewatched it multiple times. But uh the manga, like, it peaked with All Might versus All for One, in my opinion. And honestly, I was really interested in it until the end of the second war, or no, sorry, the first war, the Paranormal Liberation War or whatever. It's the one that's in season 6, the one right after the Endeavor training stuff. I would say that is around an A even then. Like, I was really interested in My Hero Academia every week then, but then after that, everything just kind of is either like C tier content or D tier, in my opinion. Mostly D tier. That's why I'm gonna throw it in a B. I'm not a big fan of the Final War. I think most of it is, I don't want to say pointless, because I'll just say wasted potential. Just all around. Honestly, that is like my entire problem with the Final War. Wasted potential. It could have been so much better than it was, and it just fell flat for me. Um, but yeah, My Hero Academia, the first manga I ever read. Most of these are in order of when I read them. Uh, you'll notice this is like the newest manga on this list that I've read. Haven't been reading as much manga like this year. Um, like really the past 2 years. Like, I've been keeping up with, or I had been keeping up with My Hero Academia and One Piece, but ever since My Hero Academia ended, it's been kind of harder for me to really keep up with things, because that was always my favorite thing to read, even when it was not at its best. It was always the thing that I was the most interested in to see, like, how it would go. every week. But um, yeah. And I'm caught up on Dragon Ball Super, but that hasn't had a chapter in almost 2 years, so it's not really that hard to be caught up. What else am I caught up on? I I think that's it. I finished Jujutsu Kaisen too. I was reading that every week. Uh, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Boruto, the first chunk of Boruto. I'm just gonna move it right here. I don't. So I'll put everything that we start with in B tier. Or I mean, like when we start with it, I'll put it in B tier just to talk about it. But Boruto, to me, I really like how it starts. I think the tournament arc is pretty good. Like it's no tuning exams, absolutely not. But I thought it was still fun to read and watch. Um, I read that part, and then I kind of fell off because I wasn't too interested. I got to that stupid chapter with a little boy, like chapter 19, I think it is. I remember it because it was just I was on it for so long, but that was annoying. And then after that, it's kind of not too interesting to me until you get to where Kawaki starts to hang around with them, and you have uh Naruto going like Nine Tails mode. Like I forgot what it's called. Uh but like the final form that he goes to when oh yeah, spoilers by the way, this entire video. Probably should have said that earlier, but I will be spoiling every single series that I talk about. So if you're not caught up on a particular series or you care about spoilers at all, just you can skip feel free to skip around, but I thought Boruto gets really good actually when Kawaki starts to hang around. Him and Boruto's dynamic is really fun to watch, but it's kind of sad because I haven't caught up on Blue Vortex. It's been actually almost exactly 2 years since I did catch up, but I plan on reading it eventually. Naruto is one of my favorite series, as I've already established, so I'll keep up with it eventually. But right now, it's just on the back burner. Probably should do that soon. Talking about it makes me want to, but yeah. Um, Boruto. Huh. I feel like the highest I could go with it is B, but I also kind of feel like that's disrespectful to My Hero Academia because Boruto never reached any of the peaks that My Hero Academia uh, had. Well, that's not entirely true. I think Naruto versus that one guy. The fact that I can't remember his name is pretty bad, but Naruto versus that one guy, not Momoshiki. That fight is really good though. Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki. But the other guy, Naruto versus that guy, I think I did cry actually when that happened and Kurama kind of died, but apparently he kind of didn't, if I'm remembering right. He came back somehow. I'm gonna put Boruto in C, um, just because, like I said, I don't think it's as good as My Hero Academia. Um, but I think Boruto is solid. Uh, just not as solid as My Hero Academia. I think My Hero Academia has way better, pretty much everything. So yeah, uh, yeah. um, One Piece. So One Piece, the very first, or not the third manga that I ever read. So I watched East Blue and I finished that, and then I was like, you know what? I want to read the manga because I've heard the manga is supposed to be better. I could have kept watching the anime because the anime does stay pretty good until like Thriller Bark ish. That's when I start having my issues with it. But I decided I was gonna get the first box set or try to get the first box set for Christmas, so I asked for it and I did end up getting it. So I read all of that, finished it, and then I went back to the anime because I didn't have box set two. So I went back to the anime and I watched from where I left off, which was Alabasta. I mean, with the end of Alabasta. So I started with Skypiea, and it was actually quarantine during the time. So me and my cousin watched it together. We watched Skypiea together, and we watched Water Seven and Innie's Lobby together, and that was really fun. But yeah, after that, I went back to the manga, watched up until Marineford, and then I watched the anime for because I felt like it. And Marineford was really good in the anime. Still, I'll give it that. But then went tried watching more of the anime. Fishman Island kind of sucks balls, so went back to the manga so I could finish it faster, and then I kind of just had that mindset for the rest of it. Like I can just I can catch up faster if I am reading it. And honestly, the anime pacing was just so boring to me. I'm very glad that I went the manga route for a majority of One Piece, especially the time skip. Uh, I do want to watch all of it eventually. No idea when that day will actually be. I've seen episodes here and there from every arc, pretty much, but never the whole thing. One Piece probably is my favorite manga. Uh, just everything about it, pretty much. I don't. I'll say this: the paneling definitely suffers, and there's like a lot more dialogue heavy chapters after the time skip, which stinks, but I get it. Like, if he didn't do that, One Piece would take twice as long as it has to go, and it's already over 1,000 chapters. So I get like he's just trying to cram as much information into one chapter as he can, but that does kind of stink. That's like really my only gripe. Um, the way that Oda's art has evolved is a little interesting because it used to be like super simplistic and now it's a lot more detailed. Like it's always had detail, but I mean like if you've read One Piece, you probably know what I mean. Like it started out very, very simple, very um just the character designs and everything were like pretty simple looking, but like as the series went on, the art started looking more detailed, and that's pretty interesting. But I kind of prefer the way it looks earlier on. I think that's just nostalgia though. But anyways, great. One Piece is great. Best world building of any series ever. Probably. There's not really. I mean, I don't think there's anything that comes close. Pretty big One Piece fan. I even got into the card game a little bit earlier this year. Haven't been into it recently, but I played it a ton back in like February, January, March. But yeah, so that was fun. But One Piece, I can do more. Okay. If there's any series on this list that y'all want me to make a video on, just let me know because most of them, not all of them, but like My Hero Academia, One Piece, Naruto is not on here, but I could. That's anime, so I could make it. I'll make an anime tier list too if y'all want to see that. But um, I can make a Hunter x Hunter video, a Dragon Ball video, especially like Dragon Ball Super. Um, Chainsaw Man, we'll get to that. Same with Black Clover. But I mean, pretty much anything on here, I can make a video on. And if y'all want to see that, just let me know. But One Piece will be our first S tier. I said that weird S tier. um, One Piece will be our first S tier. So then we have Dragon Ball, which the more and more and more I think about Dragon Ball, the original series, I only have Dragon Ball on here. You'll notice there's no Z. That's because the original manga is. I don't want to be that guy, but like I'm gonna explain like the original manga in Japan is only Dragon Ball. There is no Dragon Ball Z. So I kind of think about it like that with the manga. Like obviously the anime is Dragon Ball Z, but the manga was only Dragon Ball Z over here when they localized it. So I'm just counting Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Z is one thing. So, but the more I think about Dragon Ball, the more I really respect it. I actually started rewatching Dragon Ball, uh, or I guess watching Dragon Ball because I had only ever read it before. But I started watching it like a few years ago, and that was like right before it was right when Daima was announced, which I forgot about. I haven't even watched. I watched the first two episodes and like the final episode because my or one of the final episodes because my roommate was watching it. um, so I kind of know like the transformation at the end, but anyways, I need to watch that. But um, I just have so much respect for Dragon Ball. It's gonna be our second S tier. I think it's just as good as One Piece, honestly. Like personal preference. I mean, it's probably One Piece, but I mean, it definitely is One Piece, honestly. But I really like Dragon Ball. Like, the more I think about it, the more I get into it, the more games I play of it. Like, Fighters, Dragon Ball Fighters is one of my favorite games ever. That's like the only 2D fighting game I've ever like gotten really into. I had like at least 100 hours on it. Oh, like across my Switch, PlayStation, and Steam. That game is awesome. Like I have Dragon Ball figures. I think Dragon Ball has the best figures. I don't think that's a hot take, but they just look the best of everything. I don't know what it is, but they just do. Um, so yeah, Dragon Ball favorite art probably Cell Saga or um the first tournament arc in Dragon Ball. Honestly, I really like that. And have a lot of nostalgia for that. But anyway, oh, I forgot the Saiyan Saga. That's my favorite. Why didn't I think of that? I just forgot. But Saiyan Saga is like my friend said this one time, and I like always remember. He described it to me as like the perfect bridge between the original series and Z, and I like completely agree with that. Like it just is that like it tone wise, it's like the perfect it's like the perfect blend of both in like pretty much every way. I don't know. I just love that. That is like peak shonen. Um, I could go on all day about that, but yeah, Dragon Ball. It's S tier. Hunter x Hunter. So, admittedly, I've only ever read the first volume. I think I know I read the first volume at least. I owned up until I had 1 to 7 and then 9 to 14 and then 33 to 36. But I recently gave all of that to my brother because I realized I'm not really interested in collecting it, honestly. Like, it is one of my favorite series, but I feel like if I would own it, if like I can just read the if I want to read the manga that bad, I can just read it on my Shonen Jump app or uh you know I can rebuy it eventually if I really want to read it that bad. But like I've owned it. I owned the manga since like 2020, and I read those. I bought so I rewatched the anime, and then when I found out there was more manga after the anime, I watched. I mean, I bought those volumes 33 to 36, which is what all that was out at the time. I know they have up to 38 now. At least I think in English. But um read those, enjoyed those, but eventually I was like, you know what, I want to read the whole manga, so I started buying them and asking for them for Christmas, but I just never ended up getting all of them, and they've been sitting on my shelf for like 2 years now almost. So the other day, a few weeks ago, I just decided to give them to my little brother. Hopefully he'll read them and enjoy them. But yeah, uh manga Hunter, I've literally only read really the new stuff, um, which is really wordy. It's my only real problem with it. But I do really like most of it. I'm not fully caught up. I'm like, I read the batch that came out in 2022, like weekly, and then after that, the batch that came out last year, I think it was last year, I was reading it weekly and then I forgot about it. And now I have to pay if I want to read it. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it in A tier just to be safe. But let's move on. Mashal. So I was an early adopter of Mashal. I read it off the recommendation of a YouTuber that I used to watch. I don't even remember his name. Actually, I do. It's Briggs. Um, he had a podcast with Nugs Taku and oh my god, what was his name? I don't remember his name. But even though Nux Taku is a freak weirdo, I didn't realize that when I was younger. So I liked his content, and I watched that podcast a lot. And one time Briggs was talking about Mashal, and I was like, that sounds kind of cool because it only had like 6 chapters out at that time. Or no, it was 13. It had 13 chapters out. I remember. Um, and I liked it a lot at first, but reading it weekly, it just got so like I just got so tired of it. Like it just felt like homework. Like it's like how the MCU is now. Um with all that, like you have to watch all the Disney Plus shows and everything. It just felt like homework, like I was just keeping up with it to keep up with it. So eventually I dropped it. I don't know, just the gags got old. It wasn't funny anymore. None of the characters were really all that interesting. The fights were boring to me. I don't know. This is going to be our first D tier. Because, like, I did like it at first. It's not absolute garbage, but it's not nowhere near one of my favorites. I would not even call it a favorite. um, but yeah. Let's move on to Burn the Witch. I was a big Bleach fan. Watched the anime, loved it, and then I found out this existed. By the way, this is including the one shot and the 4 chapters that we have out. I know he teased a Burn the Witch 2, but to my knowledge, that has not come out. Unless I've missed something. Uh, I don't think I have, though. This is like mid as fuck. I was really excited to read it and watch it when the anime came out. Because I was like, oh, maybe the anime would be better. And it wasn't. It was the same. It's mid as fuck. I'm putting in D. Like the art is nice, and that's about all I can say nice about it. It's boring. It's very boring. Chainsaw Man. We can get into that a little bit. This video is going to be very long, probably. I have no idea how long I've been recording. I don't remember what time it was, but I think it's been at least 30 minutes already, and that's pretty bad. But Chainsaw Man, I started reading. My friend read it. I had heard about it online, and it looked really cool. But I just hadn't got into it yet for some reason. So my friend read it, and we were talking like every day about anime at the time. I was like 15, which honestly, um, some people might not think this, but I think I read it at like the perfect time. Like, uh, I mean, as a teenager, like especially at that point in high school, like I was a sophomore, your hormones are going crazy. Pretty much everything you can think about, or I mean, it's not everything you can think about, but a lot of what you think about is what Denji is also thinking about in this. And his main goal is pretty relatable as a 15-year-old. Loved part one, binged it, caught up right as it was about to end. I think it was like 10 or 12 chapters before it ended. I caught up. It was peak. But then part two comes out. And I liked part two to begin with. I was like, okay, this has a little bit of potential. I really liked the first few chapters. But the more that I was reading it, the more it was starting to feel like homework, like how Mashal was, like I was talking about earlier. And eventually I just stopped reading it. I think I'm literally over 50 chapters behind now. Uh, so I I'm not going to say I will never read the rest of Chainsaw Man, but it is not high priority. I do not really care for Chainsaw Man anymore like I once did. So I'm actually just going to keep it in B tier. I think that's a good place for it. If just part one by itself, I would put an S tier. But because I don't care anymore, I'm putting it in B. I think that's fair. Um, but Bleach, we can talk about now. Bleach is interesting because I watched the anime first, and then I ended up reading the whole manga because I was like, I actually got the Bleach box set and the One Piece box set at the exact same time. Um, I got One Piece from my parents, and I got the Bleach box set from my grandpa. So I had Bleach for a while, but I hadn't read it. I just got the manga because I was like really, really into it at the time. Um, but I waited until my birthday, which was like a whole 10 months because my birthday's in October. And I got those for Christmas. But I waited that long, and then I ended up getting Bleach box set 2 and box set 3. So I had the whole thing, and I read it all. And because, the Thousand Year Blood War wasn't animated yet, so I really, really wanted to read that because I heard really good things about it. But I wanted to read the whole manga because I had some like a little few problems with how the Bleach anime went. It's specifically like pacing issues kind of thing. So I wanted to see if that was in the manga too. And I mean, pacing issues in manga is a little bit different because you read at your own pace as according to like movies and TV is like a set amount of time. But Bleach. So I think Bleach peaks at the fight or like I'll just say I don't know the Arankar saga, is that what it's called? Like, I haven't been into Bleach in a really long time. Because after I read the manga, my love for it kind of declined because I'll get into it in a second. But I think Bleach peaked in that arc, the Oronkar arc, specifically with Ichigo versus Ulquiorra. I think that is the peak of the series, and it never gets better than that. Which is, I mean, people were saying because Thousand Year Blood War wasn't animated that it was like so good and that it needed to be animated so bad. And I mean, I agree it needed to be animated, but I don't think it was that good to begin with. The Bleach fans can attack me all they want to. I really don't think that it was all that great to begin with. Bleach is a good series and it gets way too much hate, but it's not perfect like a lot of people like to act like it is. Now if they brought it back, I would be there day one for that. Like they had that one shot a few years ago, with this like sequel one shot where like all that hell stuff was happening, and I thought that was awesome. I was all on board for that. I really wanted more of that. Um, so if that ever happens, if they ever bring Bleach back for a monthly manga or a weekly manga or just a sequel anime, that would be honestly perfect. Um, but I have my problems with the Thousand Year Blood War arc and the Fullbring arc. I really don't think the Fullbring arc is a little weird because like the fights are cool, but everything else is really boring. Like, um, I don't know what it is, but yeah, even then the fights aren't that cool, but except for the Ichigo ones. Um, Thousand Year Blood War peaked when that one guy, isn't his name Genryusai Yamamoto? Like the captain of all the captains. That guy, when he died, then he sacrificed himself. That was the peak of the Thousand Year Blood War. Hopefully, when they animate the rest of it and they animate the ending specifically, they make it a little better. I'm definitely rooting for that. Um, but I didn't think the Thousand Year Blood War was all that. It definitely was rushed. Like I see the potential there. Maybe I just need to reread it, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just yeah, Bleach is cool. Used to be in my top 5, definitely not anymore. I mean, I've seen a lot more stuff now, but it's cool. It's fun. I especially have a lot of love for the earlier stuff, like up until, like I said, Aizen and stuff. Like up until when Aizen is not the main bad guy anymore. I think that's when it peaked. But anyways, let's move on. Black Clover. Oh yeah, I'm leaving Bleach in B because I think it's like about as good as My Hero Academia. I kind of have my similar problems with them. But Black Clover. So Black Clover is interesting because um I actually really had a hard time getting into it. I thought it was super boring for like 40 or 50 chapters. It was way too long, maybe even longer than that. But there were like glimpses of like a cool manga in there, so I kept reading. And of the elf reincarnation, I think is what it's called, arc is really good. It's like one of the better, kind of more modern shonen arcs. Um, it's great, honestly, from what I remember of it. I honestly don't remember it that well. It's been so long. It's been like literally 5 years since I read that shit, but that's crazy. But I think it peaked right there, and then it kind of just kept going. Spade arc is cool a little bit. They're in the final war right now still because it became like a monthly, or not monthly, like a weirdly weird schedule release manga. I don't even know if it has like, I know it just kind of releases like randomly four or like two chapters at a time. I'm not fully caught up, but I'm only a few chapters behind, so I'll catch back up. Um, but I think Black Clover's cool. I think it can be in B tier with all these other ones. Um, honestly, or do I put it in C? I think at its peak, Black Clover was like an A tier for me. So honestly, I'll you know what? I'll put it in B tier. I'm optimistic about it, and I need to reread a little bit because it's been like way too long. But I'll put it in B. I'll be nice today. Now, what I won't be nice about is The Promised Neverland. So, The Promised Neverland, I watched season one in a day, thought it was brilliant, loved it. I was like, I need to read this manga now. I didn't. I waited till season two came out, like a year later. But, um, season two came out and it went anime only, kind of, sort of. It just basically skipped shit. Um, and that wasn't cool. So I decided that I was going to actually read the manga. So I got the Shonen Jump app, which I have had now for a while, but or as I'm or whatever. Um, got the Shonen Jump app, read it all, and I gotta say that is one of the quite possibly one of the most like I'll just say interesting manga experiences I've ever had. Um, I'll just say that, and oh my god, I really want to put an F tier. Um, and honestly, I will. I don't like Promise Neverland. Kaiju number 8. This is another situation like Mashal, where I was a very early adopter. Read it when there was less than 10 chapters out, I believe. Thought it was decent, but then the more that it kept going on and I was reading it, I kind of just felt like it was homework and I was just reading it to read it, and it was boring to me. I kept up for like 70 chapters too, which is fucking crazy. Maybe not that long, it just feels like it, but I feel like it was that long. So, D tier. The art is cool, I guess. But I'm not a fan, so it's gonna go in D. I'm fucking tired as shit. Jujutsu Kaisen. Uh, oh, sorry. Um, so Jujutsu Kaisen is interesting because I wanted to read it before the anime came out, but I never got around to it. So I watched season one, and then after season one ended and it was awesome, I read the manga and caught up. That was like right when the Shibuya incident had ended. So I binged the um fuck out of. I was trying to not say fuck, but I just couldn't think of anything else. I binged the fuck out of that manga, and I honestly would have put it like I would have put it maybe there, like maybe above Dragon Ball, maybe, but it was that good. Like I thought it was Hunter x Hunter level, like Hunter x Hunter anime level, but um, you know, the manga it kept going and it kept going. The more that it went on, the less interested I got. When they killed Gojo, I was like, man, I can't believe they did that. Yuji is gonna have like some sort of epic power up boost, and then they're gonna finally kill this stupid guy, and it's gonna be over with. I thought it was gonna be like a Yu Yu Hakusho situation, like Dark Tournament type shit. But then it wasn't at all. I just said type shit, and I literally never ever say that, so that's kind of weird. But they didn't do that at all. They just didn't. So it was kind of stupid. They just kept the manga going, and they kept fighting that guy for like fucking forever, and I was just bored out of my mind, wanting it to be over. Like that fight was so convoluted. Like the final fight with Sukuna is just like the most convoluted bullcrap ever. It's just not fun to read. I just did not have a good time with it. And honestly, for that reason, I'm gonna put Jujutsu Kaisen in C tier. I really do not like Jujutsu Kaisen that much anymore. And honestly, think they ruined it. But I'll keep it in C because it was at one point the peak of the peak. Awesome. Um, but yeah, Doctor Stone is an interesting one because Doctor Stone. I watched the anime. Um, I was caught up, or I caught up to the anime, and I started reading Doctor Stone like right after I started reading or stopped reading Jujutsu Kaisen. Like after I caught up to Jujutsu Kaisen, I started reading Doctor Stone, and I started reading it from the end of season 2, Stone Wars season. I haven't watched any more of the anime because I read all the manga, but the manga is fan freaking tastic. It is one of I'm not gonna put it S tier. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's on Dragon Ball or One Piece level. But I think Doctor Stone is one of the best like modern Shonen Jump series. Uh, Even though it came out almost like 10 years ago. um, but it's freaking amazing. Like every week, it was starting to become like my favorite thing to read. And that's really sad because I caught up like right as it was about to end. I wasn't caught up with it for that long, but I just had a lot of fun with it. I won't go too into detail with Doctor Stone. I don't have that much to say about it. It's just a really good read. The anime is really good too, but I think the art in the manga is fantastic. You kind of you either it's kind of a give and take. Like you watch the anime for the brilliant. You watch the anime for the voice acting, which does add a lot to the comedy aspect of it. But you could also read the manga, which has like beautiful artwork. And I don't know, it's kind of a give and take. Like Boichi, he's one of the best manga artists, like hands down. His Aces story thing, which I didn't put on this list because I never finished it, is beautiful. Like his drawing, the way he draws Ace is phenomenal. But Dragon Ball Super, I'll just go ahead and say right now, um, if we're just counting the Dragon Ball Super manga, it's a D tier. It is almost an F tier. Um, the only reason why it's not an F tier is because the Moro arc, because that arc's actually pretty good. But Battle of Gods is boring as frick. Um, Frieza Resurrection F is not even included. It's just like a page or two, I think. I don't remember reading it. The tournament of whatever, boring, uninteresting. Um, what's after that? God. Dragon Ball Super. Oh yeah, Goku Black. That art gets a lot of praise for some reason, and I don't get it. I thought it was trash. Like Goku Black is cool. Like he looks cool. Like I play it. I actually use him on my team in Dragon Ball Fighters. But his arc is like dog shit. It is not good. Heavily hate that arc actually. Like I guess the one good thing it has is Vegito, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But I hated that arc so much. I thought it was boring as shit. Um, and I thought it was stupid, and I hated it. Tournament of Power was decent in the manga. I actually haven't watched it, which I know is kind of weird because that happened. I never watched the Dragon Ball Super anime, which I know is a little weird because it came out before the manga, technically. But then the manga eventually got ahead of it, so I was just like, I'll just read the manga. But thought Tournament Power was decent. I thought Moro was pretty good. The ending of Moro was super stupid, but most of Moro was pretty good. And then, yeah, Granola, which is like arguably the worst arc in Dragon Ball like history ever. Like, um, Jesus. You have Ultra Ego, which is actually cool as fuck. I don't know why I'm saying fuck so much. I haven't been cussing on this channel, but I'm really cussing today. Probably because I'm tired, honestly. But Ultra Ego is super cool. I'm a big fan of that. I support that. But why does Vegeta lose again? Like, why can't we just have him win this one time? Like, come on. Come on. And then we have like Goku using Susanoo. Thought that was stupid. I don't remember if that was Moro or if that was Granola actually. That might have been Moro. That might have been what I was talking about with how that Moro ending was stupid, but that was dumb. Granola's a stupid character. The whole backstory that they had with him was stupid. Pretty much all of Granola was dumb. It was just really stupid and dumb, and I didn't like it. Except for Ultra Ego, and even that was kind of ruined. But Dragon Ball Super, I'm just throwing in the D tier. It's not a good manga. I honestly only read it because I really like Dragon Ball, and I want to continue to see where the characters go and keep up with the conversation. But the movies, like I said in my video yesterday, or not yesterday, I guess the day before, um, Dragon Ball Super, Broly, and Superhero, those are actually good, and I would highly recommend those. But Super as a whole, eh, eh, eh. And I'll give it like the way Granola ended was actually cool, like with Black Frieza and everything. But we haven't seen where that's gone yet. So, and I mean, we haven't gotten a chapter in 2 years, and we have no idea when we're getting a new one. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but All You Need Is Kill. I'll put that in C tier. It was a cool little short little thing. I watched Edge of Tomorrow like last year with my cousin, and I was like halfway through, I was like, "Isn't this the movie that's based on this one manga?" And I was right. And yeah, um, honestly, thought the manga was a little bit better. Um, I thought Edge of Tomorrow ended really stupidly, but All You Need Is Kill is decent. It's a decent little thing. Spy Family. Now, I'm not huge on Spy Family, but I'll give it a B tier just because of what I have read of it is and watched of it. I like a lot. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way. Actually, I'll put it C tier. I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch any more of it, and that's why I'm gonna put it in C tier. Like, I have no want or need to see any more of it. But from what I've read of it, what I watched of it, I liked it. I thought it was good. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. Ayashimon, created by Hell's Paradise guy Yuji Kaku, I believe is his name. Boring. Literally boring. Like it had chapter 1 was cool. The rest was literally terrible. I read all of it, and I wish I didn't. I never read Hell's Paradise. I only read Ayashimon because I heard so much good things about Hell's Paradise, and I was like, oh, it's his new manga. I'll support that. But it was just boring. It was just not fun. And I still haven't read Hell's Paradise, which I don't even know if I will at this point. Probably should, but then we have Demon Slayer, which I'll just move up to B so we can talk about it. Because I'm honestly not sure where I'll put it. So Demon Slayer's art, specifically for fights in the manga, is really bad. Like in my opinion, it's just a bunch of circles clashing into each other, and you don't like. It's not interesting. But the story is pretty solid most of the time. I don't like the ending, obviously, like the final fight between Tanjiro and Muzan is super underwhelming. The real final battle felt like Tanjiro versus I think his name is Akaza, that one demon, the blue one with the yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. That fight was actually really good, even in the manga. Like we haven't had that animated yet. I thought that fight was a good fight. Um, but I'll put Demon Slayer. You know what? I'll put it in C tier. Like some days I'll put it D, but I'm feeling more positive today, so we're gonna put it in C tier. I don't think Demon Slayer is like the most revolutionary thing in the world, but it's nice. You know, like it's just generic. It's generic, but it's nice. It's good. Then you have Shokugeki no Sanji, One Piece spinoff. I'll put this C too. It's kind of just a nice little spinoff thing. It was it was fun at first. Kind of got a little boring, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Um, yeah. JoJo. So this is one of the ones on the list that I'm not like um as knowledgeable about. Like I watched the anime except for Stone Ocean because they butchered that. Like they should have released it like either all at one time or weekly, and they didn't do that. It was terrible. Uh, so I've seen most of the anime. I've read part 1 and I've read part 6, and that's it. So basically, I'm basing it off of part 6, and I think I will put it in A tier. Even if I've read part 7 too, but I wouldn't count that on this list because that's not. I think it's Is it a Shonen Jump? Y'all have to tell me in the comments. I'm not sure if it's. I think it moved magazines. I'm like 90% sure it moved magazines actually. So like doesn't count as Shonen Jump after that. But yeah. Like y'all don't have to get mad at me or anything. I probably would put it S if I read the whole thing, which I'm thinking about doing pretty soon actually. But Yeah, I really actually do want to read the rest of JoJo's because I really love JoJo's. It's like in my top five anime. So yeah, like the anime I would put S tier. It's that good. But One Punch Man, um, so I freaking I thought One Punch Man was boring. Like I watched season one, I thought it was boring, but I read the manga because I heard it was a little good, maybe better than the anime. So I decided to read it, and I got to where Garo comes in, and I was like, okay, this is actually pretty good. And then I kept reading, and I was like, okay, this is actually really, really good. And I was like, oh my god, this is the best manga ever. Not actually, but I was really high on it at one time. I'm gonna put it in A only because I'm not caught up and I have no idea what chapter I'm on because the chapters are numbered stupidly. And I haven't been able to find my place in like 2 years, maybe three now, and it's really annoying. I just really want to read One Punch Man, but I can't because I don't know what chapter I'm on. It was the last one I read was like they were about to fight the tornado lady. I forgot what her name is, but Saitama was like about to fight her or something. If y'all know what chapter that is, please let me know. I genuinely really want to know because I really want to read that. But then we have Jaco, the Galactic Patrolman, which I read at a restaurant in one sitting. It was okay. It was kind of boring. Uh, I'm gonna give it a D tier. Honestly, it's kind of pointless. It didn't really add anything. Like it's a Dragon Ball spinoff, but kind of boring and didn't add anything. But now we go on to. I'm just gonna put that in D tier. That's gonna be. Yeah, I thought it was okay. It's kind of boring and kind of pointless. But we have Blue Box up next, and actually, when I first read Blue Box and I caught up to Blue Box, it was around chapter 50 something. I thought it was like the best thing ever. I was like literally like, is it better than One Piece? I was that into it, but it's not. It's not better than One Piece. I'm gonna put it in C tier simply because I have just like Spy Family, I have no desire or like I have no want or need to read more of Blue Box. I saw them get together, and it was kind of boring after that. I'll be honest. So unless something changes, and I hear it's like the best thing ever, even if I do hear that, I probably won't even. I probably wouldn't even go back to it. But um, like I had my fun. It was cool, but I don't care about it anymore. So I'm gonna put it in C tier to be respectful, because it is a good manga, but I don't care about it. Don to Don, same thing kind of, but not. So I read these around the same time. Don to Don was around 20 chapters. No, it was around 40 chapters when I caught up to it, and I was caught up to it for a while. Uh, I think the last chapter I read was like they made a Gurren Lagann reference. Um, it was that arc with the like little like with the pervert guy that sucked. That's probably why I stopped reading it. But really why I stopped reading it is I just forgot about it one day, and then I just got super far behind. I would like to read more of it, and for that reason, I think I am comfortable putting it in. I want to put it B tier. Is a thing. You know what? I'll put it in B tier. I'll put it in B tier. I will, because I think that genuinely I will eventually read Don to Don again. or watch it. So, yeah. And then we have Barrage, which is by Koei Horikoshi. I read it for that reason. And it was not bad, but it just didn't really have the time to be fleshed out into anything more than just okay, like it was fun, but then it got canceled, so he just had to kind of end it, and it sucked. The ending was terrible, but it wasn't his fault. Um, but yeah, it's a cool little manga. If you're a big My Hero fan, I would recommend it, but it's not a must read or anything. Goodbye Eri is a one shot. Oh, I didn't put Look Back on this. Well, shit. Look Back would be in C tier. I'm not that big of a fan of it. But Goodbye Eri, on the other hand, I'm a really big fan of. I would put that in A tier. I just thought it was amazing. Honestly, I don't remember much of what happens in it. It's been a long time, but I thought it was awesome. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. And Aliens Area, I mean, uh, maybe the worst manga I've actually ever read, honestly. Like at least Promise Neverland didn't get fucking canceled. But that is the tier list, tier maker. I see that I've been recording for at least an hour now, so that's fun. Um, if y'all like this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe. Trying to do daily videos. Just give me ideas. I need ideas. If y'all want to see me talk about any anime or manga that I talked about in this video, please just tell me and I will make a video on it if I have something to say. If I don't, I'll directly tell you. Like if you comment and you say you want something and I can't give you that, I will tell you. But I will appreciate it nonetheless. And I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.